Must wash nicely, Hanifa. Hanifa.
It was before every holiday. Bismillah. Which hadith we doing? وعن We started at hadith. Okay, let's go read the hadith again. Bismillah. وعن زر بن حبيش. I got إنه لأهيد. It says Mazi. So لأهيد النبي الأمي. We see how you got it in your kitab. Is it? Check here on the PDF in the nothing, huh? Okay, I think go with this sound make more sense. لأهد النبي الأمي. Okay, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. وعن زر بن حبيش. رأيتنا the authority of زر بن حبيش. He said that as Ali radiallahu ta'ala himself said, والذي فلق الحب وبرأ النسمة. I take a qasam by the one who has فلق الحبة, the one who has split open the seed, وبرأ النسمة, and the one who has created the soul. And obviously Allah Ta'ala does it. So I take a qasam by Allah Ta'ala, إنه لأهد النبي الأمي, that verily the unlettered prophet, right? He, you can say he bequeathed to me, or he told me, right? He informed me. What informed me? Right? Allah yuhibbuni illa mu'minun. That none will believe me except a mu'min. Right? Wa Allah yubghiduni illa munafiqun. And none will hate me except a munafiq. Rawahu Muslim, Imam Muslim, and I raised this particular right. So what is it saying? What is it showing you? That uh, only a true believer will recognize that this here is the son-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he made a great contribution to the progress of Deen. So it is necessary for us that we respect him, we love him, and the person who can't recognize this, the person who doesn't recognize that this is the son-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a person who made a great contribution to Deen, then such a person will be a munafiq. Right? That is the essence of what has been mentioned. If you look at the falaqah, now we know for a seed to grow, it must split open first, right? So in Arabic, normally, we know that Allah Ta'ala is the one who causes things to grow, etc. So Allah Ta'ala is referred to as Falikul Hab, the one who opens the seed and allows things to grow. Bara'a means to create something, right? Bara'a. And Nasmata means also like a human being. So it's basically a qasam on Allah Ta'ala's name. وَالَّذِي فَلَقَ الْحَبَّةَ وَبَرَأَ النَّسَمَةَ. So I take a qasam by the one who splits open the seed, and I take a qasam by the one who creates the soul, right? Nasmatun, ruh, right? So here in the Shara they explain, normally when you want to explain something very, very important, you want to emphasize something, then you use ahida. Like, so if you're employing somebody, say, wa inni ahidu ilayka, right? Allah yuhibbuni. So if you look at Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, his position was very, very unique in the sense that there were two extremities with regards to him. There was one group that wanted to reduce his status, one group that wanted to abuse him, so to say. And on the other hand, there was the group who wanted to exalt him to more than what he was. And if you look, this is the same thing that that what happened to Isa alayhi salam. You had one group, the Christians, what they done? They tried to give him the quality of divinity, right? They tried to make him divine. They tried to give Isa alayhi salam divinity. And then the Jews, on the other hand, what they done? They, na'udhu billah, they said Isa alayhi salam was a bastard, na'udhu billah, born out of wedlock, na'udhu billah. And to such an extent, they even say that Isa alayhi salam is being punished, he's been boiled in feces in Jahannam. So, as Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu was very much like Isa alayhi salam in the sense that you had the two extreme groups, right? So, I was telling you, the munafiqeen, the general munafiqeen, obviously they were not true believers. So they had a lot of jealousy and envy for the Sahaba Ikram. But because of Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu's close position to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the munafiqeen had even more hatred for Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, right? Now if you look at the Khawarij, remember we told you the Khawarij are those people who broke away from Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu when they were not happy when he was ready to make the peace treaty. What as Muawiyah, they said, "Inil hukmu illa lillah." Remember? So the Khawarij were also like a type of munafiqeen. They also, these Khawarij, they said as Ali radiallahu ta'ala is a kafir. Why? Because they say he went against the Quran, he made peace, and they verbally abused him. Then remember you had Abdullah ibn Sabah on the one end. He wanted to create dissension and discord at the at the highest Muslim political level. So then he was saying that Ali radiallahu ta'ala is the most worthy of Khilafat. So in order to push that narrative, he had to go overboard in praising as Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Whilst we know that as Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu was fought on the scale, but to push his narrative that as Ali was abused, etc. So one group went overboard to such an extent. Some of them said that Ali radiallahu ta'ala is Allah, Allah ta'ala made hulul, Allah ta'ala entered as Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Some of them said no, as Ali is the actual prophet, Jibreel made a mistake, he came to the wrong person. But we, the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, obviously, we have the correct aqidah, and that is what is mentioned in this hadith, that we love Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, we respect him, we recognize his status. We do not go to the extreme of saying he's divine or he's a messenger. That's one extreme. And neither do we go to the other extreme of saying that na'udhu billah, he was a kafir and he contradicted the Quran, etc., etc. If you look at the next hadith, hadith number, not hadith, the next one, but forthcoming hadith, hadith number 16, where Nabi Sallallahu said, "Oh Ali, your condition is going to be like that of Isa alayhi salam. You're going to have people making people ghulu, making extremities on both ends of the spectrum, like the Christians and the Jews." So this hadith, it teaches us the moderate way. What we say, the road of i'tidal, that you love Hazrat Ali, you respect him, but you do not go overboard, and you don't hate him like the Khawarij and the Nawasib. Remember, the Nawasib are those people who hated the family of Nabi Sallallahu. Be like the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, which is bain. Right. So this is also, like I told you, from those signs by which you can recognize who are the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. This is one of the ways of recognizing who the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah is. That those people that are not extreme in their position of Hazrat Ali, those who give him a moderate position. Okay, read the next hadith, inshallah. Okay, just something I forgot there. I want to tell you. So, with regards to this same thing, what is with the same discussion that understanding of the proper position of Ali is mentioned. Hubbu Abi Bakrin wa Umara min al imani. The love for Abu Bakr and Umar is from the part of the iman. Wa bughduhuma kufrun, and to hate them is kufr. Wa hubbul ansari min al imani, and the love of the Ansar is from the Iman. وَبُغْضُهُمْ كُفْرٌ, and to hate them is kufr. وَبُغْضُ الْعَرَبِ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ, and love for the Arabs is from Iman. وَبُغْضُهُمْ كُفْرٌ, and to hate them is kufr. Right? وَمَنْ سَبَّ أَصْحَابِي فَعَلَيْهِ لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ, and that person who abused my companions, and may the curse of Allah Ta'ala be upon them. Okay, read the next riwayat. وَأَنْ سهل بن سعد يوم خيبر you got يحب الله ورسوله. I got يحب الله ورسوله ويحبه الله ورسوله. So he loves Allah and his Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah and his Rasul loves him. Let me translate. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. عن سهل بن سعد, narrating authority of Sahl ibn Sa'd, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قام يوم خيبر, at the battle of Khaybar, he stood up. Nabi said, he stood up and said, so they were struggling to conquer the one particular force. They managed to conquer all the force, but there was one they couldn't conquer. لَأُعْطِيَنَّ هَذِهِ الرَّايَةَ غَدًا رَجُلًا. That tomorrow, this was a prediction of Rasulullah. لَأُعْطِيَنَّ هَذِهِ الرَّايَةَ, tomorrow I will give this flag. Tomorrow, رَجُلًا, such a person, يَفْتَحُ اللَّهُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ, that Allah Ta'ala will open up. He will conquer upon his hands. And what type of a person? This is sifat. Yuhibbullaha wa rasulahu. Such a person that he loves Allah and his Rasul. And then further on, wa yuhibbuhu Allahu wa rasuluhu. This person is such that also Allah and his Rasul loves him. So he loves Allah and his Rasul, and Allah and his Rasul loves him. So imagine what a great accolade this was. What a great accolade this would have been to the person. Right. So فلما أصبح الناس آه غدوا على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So you can imagine now people will, this was a great accolade that such a person is going to get the flag who he loves Allah and his Rasul, and Allah and his Rasul loves him. So who wouldn't be desirous of getting this flag? Who wouldn't be desirous of getting this accolade? So the next morning, غدوا على الله على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كلهم. Everyone went into the presence, or they wanted to be noticed by Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم كلهم يرجون أي يؤطاها. Right? Everyone was hoping that يؤطاها, that he will be given this flag. Right? Carry on. But Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, despite seeing everyone, he said, أين علي بن أبي طالب? Where's Ali ibn Abi Talib, right? So they said, فقالوا هو يا رسول الله يشتكي عينيه. He's not here now but he's يشتكي عينيه, translated, he's complaining about his eye. He has some eye complaint, right? So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, send for him. فأرسلوا إليه, call him, right? Right? فأتي به, he was brought into the presence of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right. So Subhanallah. Subhanallah. فبصق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في عينيه فبرأ حتى كأن لم يكن به وجع. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam spat, or he put some of his saliva in the eye of Rasulullah, of Ali radiallahu ta'ala. فبرأ, it became cured. كأن لم يكن فيه وجع, as though there was no problem with it after that, right? Right. Then فأعطاه الراية, Rasulullah gave him the flag. So then so once as Ali radiallahu ta'ala received the flag, he said, فقال علي يا رسول الله أقاتلهم حتى يكونوا مثلنا, while I fight them until they are like us. In other words, they are like believers like us. So Nabi says to unfud ala, go comfortably حتى تنزل, until you come by them. ثم ادعوهم إلى الإسلام, then you call them towards Islam. ثم ادعوهم إلى الإسلام, you call them towards Islam, right? Right. وأخبرهم بما يجب عليهم من حق الله فيه, then you inform them upon that which is wajib upon them, right? Right. What the right Allah Ta'ala have upon them, right? And then he says, inform them what right is wajib upon them. وأخبرهم بما يجب عليهم من حق الله. فوالله, I take a qasam by Allah Ta'ala, لأن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا, that Allah Ta'ala guides through you. Allah Ta'ala is the one who actually gives guidance, but if He uses you, بك رجلا واحد, one person, خير لك من أن يكون لك حمر النعم, it is better for you, it is more reward for you than there will be for you red camels. متفق عليه, there's a متفق عليه رواية. وذكر حديث البراء, and the hadith of the Bara has been mentioned. قال لعلي, he said to Hazrat Ali, أنت مني وأنا منك, that you are from me and I'm from you. في باب بلوغ الصغير, in the chapter of بلوغ الصغير. So this is a very interesting hadith. Khaybar, was a Jewish settlement just outside Medina, right? Before, it was inaccessible. You couldn't go there. You couldn't see it. But now with the Saudi opening, they're encouraging tourism. So now you can actually go and see it. So Alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah Ta'ala, with our last trip we went, we actually saw it. You'll see the exact Khaybar. You see these houses made out of mud, etc. Mud houses that are there. Although they don't allow you to come close up, you can just see it from a distance. There are guards, obviously, because it's a heritage site, it's so old, etc. So it's if you want to see it today, inshallah, you can go see Khaybar, the Jewish settlement. You'll just see um, like mud houses, big houses, which right. So in the 7th year of Hijri, the Battle of Khaybar took place, and there was approximately right. So approximately 1,500 Sahaba Ikram, they took part in this battle. 1,500. And there were many, many heavily fortified, so we say, forts of the Jews. But we couldn't really see when we went there. I told you, we just saw some houses from a distance, some double-story mud houses, etc. So Sahaba Ikram, for over a month, they laid siege to this place, and they were managed to break the siege on most of the uh, forts. But there was one fort was called Qil'a Qamus. This was a heavily fortified place, and Sahaba Ikram just couldn't breach their defenses. Right? I told you, they just couldn't come right. And it was at this time when Nabi Sallallahu said that I'm going to give to a person whom he loves, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah, is Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the Rasul loves him, and Allah and his Rasul love him. He's the one that is going to breach the defenses of this impregnable fort. So obviously every Sahabi was desirous, because this would be a great accolade. And eventually, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave it to us, Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he was the one who was um, successful in breaching the defenses of Qil'a Qamus. And that is how he got the name Fatih Khaybar. Although he did not conquer the whole of Khaybar alone, right? All the Sahaba Ikram, many Sahaba Ikram were made shaheed in the process. Many Sahaba Ikram were instrumental. But he was the one that conquered the main fort that the Sahaba Ikram were experiencing difficulty. So interesting discussion here the author brings. He says here, as Ali radiallahu ta'ala says, that حتى, he said, فقال علي يا رسول الله أقاتلهم حتى يكونوا مثلنا, that I will fight them, should I fight them until they are like us, right? So does this mean that you must fight them until they are exactly like us? They must have the same level of iman like us. They must be like they must be like Sahaba like us. Or does it just mean they must be Muslims like us? And here the author goes into a deep discussion, and he says that certain people try to extrapolate from this hadith that look, you can't engage in jihad, you must engage in jihad until your iman is like the iman of the Sahaba Ikram. Because Hazrat Ali said, look, Ya Rasulullah, I'm going to fight them till they are like us. So until you are not like the Sahaba Ikram, you don't have the iman of the Sahaba Ikram, then you cannot engage in jihad. Are you with me? So, to say no, Atta yakunu mislana doesn't mean that they must be exactly like us. They must have the same level of iman. So here, obviously, he's looking out against, people, let's say certain groups, they say, look here, we are too weak to engage in jihad. We must first do da'wah. We must get the people right first. We must get our a'mal correct, etc., etc. Then we will do jihad, etc. So they try to use a C that the Jews first had to be exactly like the Sahaba Ikram before they could engage in jihad. So you say, no, Mislana doesn't mean Mislana fil Imani. It means Mislana Muslimin. As long as they are Muslims, then they are like us. Then they can also engage in jihad. Are you with me? So he's saying so he's, in other places, not here, so he says there's a fallacy to believe that, like how some people say, look, this ummah is not ready for jihad, that we first have to build up our iman is too weak, etc. He says, if you look, in many cases where certain Sahaba Kiram, they just accepted Islam and no effort was made on the iman as yet, but immediately they jumped into the battlefield and they engaged in jihad, etc., etc. So that's a fallacy of saying that first you have to build up your iman and you then want the iman. So you can say now we can't make jihad, etc. When the conditions, we know the conditions of jihad are there, then you have to make the jihad. So we say, so mislana can't mean that the iman must be like our iman, because it's not possible that a non-Sahabi's iman can be like a Sahabi's iman. So then Nabi Sam said, the other interesting part is here, um, انفض على رسلك حتى تنزل بساحتهم. Yeah. انفض برسلك means go nicely, don't go aggressively, right? That's what it means there. انفض على رسلك حتى تنزل بساحتهم ثم ادعوهم الإسلام, then call them towards Islam. Now we know we done Kitabul Jihad, etc., right? That we, we done Kitabul Jihad, etc., that you in the time of jihad, you don't just attack people. First, what you do is you invite them to Islam, that you accept Islam, and you become like us, and you live as a normal citizen from amongst us, right? And if not, then the second thing is you pay the jizya. And if you not pay, they want to pay the jizya, then the third option is there's jihad. So why was it necessary here for Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala to do this again when already the jihad has been raging? The jihad has already been raging for 1 month. So most probably, when the Muslims came for the first time, they did already make this dawah. They did already make this. So it was just as a reminder for a second time. Just as a reminder for a second time. Otherwise, the standard procedure is that you first call them towards Islam, etc. And then if they don't, you call them towards jizya. And if they don't accept the jizya, then you call them to, then you will fight them. So remember, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had surrounded Khaybar for similarly 25 days. So probably they already got that dawat before. This was just a extra reminder for them. So I'll tell you the other thing is the Shias, they like to blow the trumpet and say that Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu single-handedly, if you have a discussion with him, they will say that Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu single-handedly conquered Khaybar, but this is incorrect. Yes, he played a critical role in conquering Khaybar, and one of the forts that it was difficult to conquer, etc. He played a part. He was not the only one. Many other Sahaba Ikram also were instrumental. Many Sahaba Ikram became shaheed in the process, etc. Okay, let's do it, inshallah. وعن عمران بن حسين فبسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأن إمران بن حسين رأيتنا أثارت إمران بن حسين أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن عليا مني, علي رضي الله is from me, وأنا منه, and I'm from amongst him, right? وهو ولي كل مؤمن, and he is the friend, the protector of every believer. رواه الترمذي, Imam Tirmidhi raised this particular right. So what does this mean? وأنا منه. I wanted to show what we say in Urdu or Arabic, kamalul qurb. They know the absolute closeness, the familiarity, the ikhlas. That despite me being my family, that the Quran speaks about ja'alahu nasaba wa sihra. Nasaba refer to family lineage. Sihra means in-laws. He was the son-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was also the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, if anybody want to try to use this, so yes, this hadith, it does show familiarity, closeness, etc. But it does not show khilafat. Because if you want to show khilafat with this, you know that Nabi also made a similar statement for Salman al-Farsi. So if you made a similar statement for Salman al-Farsi, then you must say also, then, as Salman al-Farsi is also eligible for the khilafat, right? He said, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Salmanun minni wa ana minhu. And he also said with regards to the Abbas, Abbasun minni wa ana minhu, wa huwa waliyun, right? So it just means to be very close, etc. It does not mean to be a successor, like how the Shias try to take on from there. Okay, let's start there, inshallah. We'll switch over now to the tafsir.